Hello and welcome to another episode of the Full Force Weekly, brought to you by GeneralsJoes Reborn.com with me, Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostic 80. For today's episode, I'm joined by the awesome Patrick Notpicard Stewart. In this regular video series, we round up all the week's news in the world of G.I. to the Joe. What is it, Pat?
I really wish that I had a burp to put right here. I really wish I did, but I don't, so I'll just say that it's the Full Force Weekly.
You know that I'm going to leave that in as well, don't you? So there you go.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. It's because I'm drinking tea out of my dun 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 Full Force. It's not really it's a sticker, but anyway. How are you doing, pal? How's things?
Oh, I just got a lot of sleep, so I'm doing okay. Doing much better.
Full recharge.
Yes. A little more than full recharge. I'm a little overcharged right now. Maybe I'll go jogging after this.
Do you ever do that by chance?
No, and I was thinking that I should start, and that it would like get me on good timing if we had the Full Force recording, and then I went jogging, and then took a shower and went to work.
Don't take a shower. Don't take a shower. Just go straight to work.
Work sticky,
dripping.
I could just jog to work in my work clothes.
When you get there, you're literally drenched. 2 for Batman. There you go. In you go. Brilliant, mate. That's incredible.
Now I have to Uber home because I'd just be too tired.
Yeah. Well, that you'd get. I mean, how super fit would you get doing that? How far away is your work from your home?
Not very far. Maybe 5-6 miles.
Yeah, that's
maybe less than that.
Forget that then. Bloody hell. Yeah, that'd be hardcore, mate. I was doing that like when I was at peak. Fitness.
And uphill, so.
Oh, so it's downhill on the way home. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, it would be. That's true.
Just toboggan it on the way back. Luge it on the way back. Firefly style. Right. That was a retaliation toy joke. That's terrible. Firefly luge, right? He had the little...
Oh, yeah, Firefly luge. If you say the luge, my mind goes back to Spy Troops with the battle luge guy. It's just waiting, hiding in the bottom of that vehicle,
ready
to be launched at the enemy with no defenses. He has no weapon.
What is he honestly going to do?
I don't know.
What's he going to do? What's his end game? Because it just catching up with them. That is ridiculously brilliant, isn't it? I could imagine it'd be like an escape idea would be that I could get that, but not if it's like an attack mode. Anyway, we've got news to talk about. Why are we talking about retaliation and Spy Troops? Because obviously we've got way more current things to discuss when we get into these news topics, buddy. Lots happened this week, which is great. Did a lot of News Burst lives, which was a lot of fun. And the first bit of news up is in classified book 1 news. Last weekend, we had an update regarding the G.I. Joe Classified Book 1, which had been delayed to July of this year, having previously been slated for June of 2021. The cover and synopsis was revealed, giving us a more detailed understanding of what to expect. The story focuses on a young high schooler called Stan and his friends at Springfield Academy, after Stan and his family move to the familiar-sounding town after his mother gets a job at a cutting-edge tech company called Cobra Industries. Does that ring a bell? The young adult novel looks like it will be focusing on the kids as they get involved in a G.I. Joe Cobra conflict. One of his friends is also named Scarlet, and the young girl on the revealed cover does look like the classified figure head sculpt. I wonder if we will be seeing a burgeoning G.I. Joe, and that this Scarlet is just a younger version of the character we know. Hopefully, more info will be revealed before it is in hand in July, but for now, we wait. If you want to pre-order the book, there is a link in the description. Pat, thoughts on this one? This intriguing synopsis.
It's always a little weird to me whenever they make major changes to characters in new versions of things. Not that I'm resistant to that. It's
change though, isn't it? It's hard.
It is change, and it is hard. And with G.I. Joe, there are so many characters that they could throw any of a number of them in there and not be making major changes that much. But Scarlet is one of the key G.I. Joes. So putting her in there is a little strange to me as a young adult, and kind of changing things for her so that it seems like that if she encounters Cobra as a kid, is she just going to have to go completely through the military and with the intention of joining GI Joe? Like, what's the story going to be?
That never happens in movies. Kids just join them straight away, don't they? In kids'
Well, it happens
films.
in the GI Joe cartoon. You know, they.
Oh, you're a veterinarian? You're a veterinarian? Yeah, jump on, mate. We need a veterinarian on the team.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so that could be what happens here. Well, when you're old enough.
Dr. Link Talbot, right?
Yeah, Link Talbot. Quick Kick joined that way, didn't he?
Yeah, in the cartoon. Just like he turned up with the guys, like saying silly things. Turned up with Bazooka and Alpine after the HQ had been destroyed in Pyramids of Darkness, or the HQ had been turned into darkness. And yeah, he just turns up and they're like, yeah, join the team. Yay, you're on G.I. Joe now. Amazing. So yes, Scarlett's going to be in the G.I. Joe team. She's probably really 30 years old and she's pretending to be a child at Springfield Academy. She's like an undercover spy.
That actually could be cool. If
21 Jump Street.
Found out about if the Joe team, exactly, it's 21 Joe Street. Is that what you said?
I said 21 Jump Street and you made it much, much better. Amazing.
I get the feeling that what they may be trying to do is to take the young adult crowd now and kind of Harry Potter their way into being a little older and into G.I. Joe, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get these young adult novels, and then maybe later on some novels where the characters may be older. It seems like that could be what they're doing by trying to have the characters be younger now.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm also I'm interested. Like, obviously, Phil Noto's work. His artwork's fantastic, and I really like the cover on it. It's quite fun. And what actually sprung out to me more than anything was the fact I want a Springfield Academy T-shirt now. That kid that one of the kids is wearing, I was like, oh, really? I want to do some like clothing that's like Springfield Academy, because I think that'd be quite cute and kind of fun, like a hoodie and like a sweatshirt and stuff. So yeah, I just want a Springfield Academy T-shirt. I don't know about you.
Yeah, no, I think that's really cool. But the fact that the name of it's Springfield, this shirt could possibly just already exist. I mean, how many Springfield shirts are there likely out there?
That's so true. That is so true. I'll just like try and find some. Try and find some nearby, because you could probably walk. You could probably walk to a Springfield, no matter where you are. You could be dropped anywhere in the US and probably walk to a Springfield. Yeah, amazing. I believe that was one of the reasons it was chosen for Cobra, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
And of course in The Simpsons, because it's such a well-known and overtly popular name, so it could be anywhere is what they're getting at there. Anyway, cool. So I actually got this on pre-order. I'm intrigued and I want to check it out. I'm not a young adult. I am what's known as just an adult now. So I'm just going to have to put my young. Well, it wouldn't take much to put a young hat on, would it? I'm wearing a young hat right now. So yeah, I'm excited to read it still. Because I think for me, I've kind of been a bit starved, and I'm sure it's the same for yourself, Pat. Been a bit starved of classified media, and it's something I want to start seeing them do more of. If it's like a comic form, or if these kind of like little novels kind of create like a fun little universe. I just want something to hang on these action figures in a weird way.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if it does actually work into having some of the figures around. Like you said, maybe it really is a 21 Jump Street kind of situation.
Joe Street.
It would be nice to have some of the details that are different kind of described in fiction form,
Totally.
So we can actually learn more about this specific universe of G.I. Joe, because it does seem like it's different than what we've had before.
One thing I will actually say about this, because I don't think I really discussed it that in much detail when I was on the live, but I get the feeling, because of the delays on this, it's probably been through some pretty significant changes. I've got a feeling when they first started doing this, they had an idea for classified. It probably tied in with what Lenny was building, probably tied in with what, maybe there was a comic on the horizon. And when the design thing when they decided to make a design change to, kind of a more kind of vintage aesthetic, I feel like the book was already kind of maybe too far along, so they had to delay it because they had to rewrite it to some degree. So I've got a feeling that the story has probably changed along that route. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? It's only a theory, it's only speculation, but it just feels like it's probably gone through some pretty major changes.
Yeah, that seems like it's quite possible. I don't know. I don't know if it includes any interior art. Do we know that what whether or not it has that?
Well,
that
Phil Noto is definitely an illustrator on the book. So and it could just be that he's got the cover, but I imagine there's going to be illustrations in the book as well, like every now and again. Not like literally every page, but you know, like written in such a way that's like really dumbed down, like kindergarten books. Like Spot sat on the mat, that kind of thing. I don't think, yeah.
Not illustrated classics either.
No.
Did you ever have those?
I know what you mean, but I don't think we really had them. We had books like that, but not the same type.
Okay.
But yeah, like I just get the feeling there's going to be more than just the cover from Phil Noto on this.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm curious what's inside of it then. If it does have pictures, then I'll be interested. But if it's all about reading. No thanks. I'm not a young adult.
Amazing. Okay, right. Well, let's move on to the next news story because that's the best way to finish a news segment ever. If it's all about the reading, no thanks. In Funko news. GameStop posted a brand new pre-order listing on their website on Wednesday, giving us our first G.I. Joe Funko Pop figure and vehicle combo. Cobra Commander with the Cobra F.A.N.G. The 5-inch tall and 7-inch long pop figure is $29.99 and comes in a window display box, as we've come to expect from Pops over the years. It's a GameStop exclusive and will be shipping around the 2nd of July this year. You can pre-order him right now on their website, link in the description. Pat, is it cute or does it get the poop shoot?
I'm not into it. It's not. This is not for me. I'm really not into pops. I'm not generally into the make the head big and that's a cutesy toy. That's not really for me. But I mean, pops really are what a lot of those companies that are doing that are trying to copy, in my opinion, because they've been hugely successful. Similar to Super 7, though I like the reaction figure line much better than the Pops line. It's a consistent figure type that people have taken to who are not interested in buying vintage, who are not interested in generally buying action figures, but they want a variety of things from pop culture. So it does what it set out to do, so that's fine. It just isn't necessarily for me.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you, mate. I mean, the thing is, like, I think I jumped back into collecting pops during, the whole merchandise explosion at the start of the classified line, and then going forward from there. I kind of jumped back in with like Mindbender, Leatherneck, Shipwreck Zartan, Beachhead, all those kind of ones, just mainly because it was like we'd been starved for so long, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's kind of stuff, and I can buy it. And then I got to the point where I'm like, they're not for me either. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not my bag. I do. What I do like though, what I really do like, is the fact that we're still getting them. We are still getting more pops coming through with G.I. Joe characters, and that just tells me that the brand is still pretty solid. So when we stop getting these things is when I start getting worried. Do you know what I mean? Like when we stop getting Jada Toys stuff, I got worried, and then all of a sudden another Jada Toys thing's revealed, and you think, oh, okay, well maybe it was just the disruption to the shipping delays and the manufacturing issues and so on and so forth. But yeah, like I still feel like when I see this stuff coming out, I get excited for the brand, not necessarily for the item itself.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely is a sign, like you said, that the brand still is popular with licensees. So that's for sure good. I mean, there had been G.I. Joe there was G.I. Joe a while back with Pops. So I remember a set of 4, I think it was.
Cobra Commander, Roadblock, Snake Eyes, maybe Storm Shadow. There was a Chase Cobra, like black Storm Shadow, wasn't there, like Ninja Coup style? And there
don't really remember.
And then there was 2 different Cobra Commanders.
Yeah, I don't really remember what ones came out. I just remember them hitting and me making the decision that I was not going to be buying G.I. Joe Pops. But I did end up, I have one. I have the Cobra bat, and that's it.
Oh, the bat. Yeah, that was recent, wasn't it? That wasn't too long ago, last year.
It was, yeah. And it was one of those weird situations where Walmart was putting them out, and some Walmarts were putting them out on clearance. So for $5, I got a bat.
Yeah, totally. I think I grabbed a bat from Brian Sauer, so thank you, Brian. He also picked me up a Snake Eyes and Timber there, which is weird because that was supposed to be an exclusive to Funko's website, and then all of a sudden it was in Walmart everywhere. So I don't know what these things. Never.
Yeah, and some of them were supposed to be exclusive to GameStop that I saw at Walmart.
Yep. And then they just appear, don't they? And they're everywhere, and you're just like, okay, well, this wasn't as difficult as I thought it was going to be. Anyway, yeah, I kind of in the same boat as you, or the same F.A.N.G as you on this one. I think it's cute actually, but like at the same time, I don't know. I probably won't be getting it, but I'm glad it exists. It's such a weird dichotomy in my head there, but yeah, I'm glad it exists, but I've got no interest in buying it. What is wrong with me? One question I will ask you though, gun to your head, because I know obviously you don't. If I was to ask you the question without a gun to your head, you'd just say, "I'm all right, thanks." What figure and vehicle combo would you like to see them do? Gun to your head, so you have to answer.
You know, I watched the live stream, and people during that were making the correct calls. It's Zartan and the Chameleon, Serpentor and the Air Chariot. I also heard somebody say, just in general, a pops of a Fatal Fluffy.
Oh, and amazing!
Yeah, like why are they sticking to, the core characters?
Hump.
We have not gotten past the core character hump on Funko Pops. Maybe that's part of the reason why it's a little bit. Yeah. I mean, okay, I have Bat, and he's not what I would consider a core character.
I'm going to say something here. I think if it wasn't Cobra Commander and a F.A.N.G, if it was like CoverGirl and the Wolverine, or if it was like, that'd be funny as well, because it just had giant heads sticking out of that hole in the the hatch. If it was something like that, I think I'd be like, oh, I kind of want that, because it's quirky and different, and we haven't seen that character very often, and we that kind of thing. Like if it was Serpentor and the Air Chariot, I'd probably be all over it. So like I think because it's Cobra Commander again, I don't know.
I would like to see how they would handle a flight pod, a trouble bubble over that gigantic head.
Or just like it would just be the head, but then the glass would be covering the whole head.
Yeah.
That would be so funny, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be kind of funny.
If it was Mindbender on that, I'd be all over it. If it was a Televiper or someone like that in it.
I just want like Snake Eyes in a brainwave scanner as a Funko Pop.
Massive brainwave scanner head helmet. Yeah, that would be amazing. Yeah. Actually, that would be again. These are things that would make me want to buy it because it's quirky and different. It's one of the reasons why I'm not like massively into the reaction line, but when I see the characters they're doing, I'm like, oh god, I want that. I want those. Yeah. I want a representation of something so obscure and weird from the brand in some sort of form. So I think a lot of it has to do with the characters, honestly. We've seen so much Cobra Commander stuff. The F.A.N.G has been done in recent years multiple times, so it's like, give us something fresh, yo. Anyway, it's still pretty cool, I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of glad they're doing some more of those things. I'm glad that G.I. Joe's finally got to that kind of vehicle figure combo, but, Pat and I we're not interested. Anyway, next news item then, and that is in a rather chunky abundance of classified news. A chabundance. In terms of product we knew was coming out, but we're now starting to see it, there was another story that dropped just prior to us recording the show last week. A collector in New Jersey named Puerto Tano posted images of a Croc Master that he managed to find at a Walmart in Riverdale for $41.99. It's awesome to start seeing this figure showing up in stores, so keep your eyes open next time you're out. In addition to that, the retro-carded Baroness and Lady J popped up on a pre-order link in advance of the Walmart CollectorCon on Walmart Online. The online event will begin on March the 24th and spanned 2 days of reveals and pre-orders, with G.I. Joe likely getting some love via the Walmart exclusive classified anniversary card backs of Baroness, Lady J, Destro and Gung Ho. It's also very likely that Baroness and Lady J will be the only 2 pre-orders from that group of figures, seeing as Destro and Gung Ho are officially Wave 2 of the series, but we shall see. Pat, excited for a bit more classified product creeping in over the next few weeks?
Yeah, I'm not going to be rushing out to my Walmart looking for Croc Master and expecting him to be there. That seems a little bit like a fluke to me.
Yeah.
And whenever Baroness showed up at Walmart, it seemed like those had leaked early, because several people did find those. It wasn't just a one-off. But again, I don't think that was what was intended. So I kind of gave up the hunt on those.
Yeah.
But I think of all of this, it's a little bit weird. There's some of the wind taken out of the excitement of getting something whenever the pre-order secures it for me. So like the I have it part is gone. And then like a year later, things start to show up.
Yeah.
I wish that those two feelings were a little tied closer together, because right now I'm a little more excited to secure myself a Gung Ho than I am to even get Croc Master in hand.
Yeah.
As weird as that is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think, I agree. I don't think that Gung Ho will go up for pre-order right away. I would bet that it's just going to be Lady J and Baroness.
Well, considering those are the 2 links as well that snuck out early, it kind of makes sense that those 2 will be the pre-orders. And maybe I do feel like they'll reveal Gung Ho and Destro, because obviously we've seen them already on the Hasbro live stream, haven't we? So I'd imagine they would still maybe show them off in some way, shape or form.
Yeah, we didn't get really to see them like with their accessories on. We didn't get to really see the accessories very well for Lady J.
Yeah.
I think that we'll see something a little bit more, and that'll be cool, but just the 2 of them is what I expect would go up for pre-order.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But I would like to have my Croc Master soon. That'd be cool.
Croc Master looks so good. I can't get over how brilliant that Fiona is as well. Oh my goodness. Like, everything about that figure is just screaming. That is like the perfect figure for classified, isn't it? Loads of texture, loads of detail, loads of fun little accessories, big release, so it's like, like a deluxe set. Just loads of vibey visuals. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and the fact that they have a little bit of a 2 different sizes to work with as far as the box set goes kind of makes it so that there's a little more space for some of this stuff to not be just crammed into what they're able to afford to put with a figure at the regular price point. So it's nice that they're able to do it a little bit bigger. Then things on this set seem to have gotten a lot bigger, filling out the rest of that space.
I know, when you look at the actual final one, it's just there's so much cool stuff in that box. Like, they've really packed it with accessories.
Yeah, I think that realistically they probably could have given us like just a whip and a smaller crocodile and put it in a regular size package.
I know, we've got like all these we've got all these little baby Crocs. We've got the blooming loads of cool stuff in there. Phoebe loves it, so that's good. Right. What about because we've discussed in a lot of detail, didn't we? The 2 of us, the Gung Ho and Lady J. Well, as much as we could from those images previously. But you mentioned that thing there about seeing those kind of figures, like product images and stuff like that. I think I'm more excited about seeing those product images than I have been about most things in recent memory, just because I want to see Gung Ho all geared up. Like, I want to see what he looks like in all of it, and I know we've seen the digital mock-up, but I want to see the figure, I want to see the Dio shots, I want to see all that kind of stuff. And I wonder if they're going to have, well, I imagine they do, because they do Dio shots for Target. I'd imagine they might do Dio shots for Walmart. Do you think that's going to happen? Or because we haven't really seen that often. Like the retro stuff was kind of like black background explosion screens, wasn't it?
Yeah, but this is a little bit different. It kind of exists within that same classified universe, and the dios that they have are scaled already to these figures. So it could be that we didn't get anything for the retro series because maybe they didn't want to have to build an entire dio for 4-inch figures.
Absolutely, Pat. It's Phoebe, I've taken over. Do you like my hat? Sorry, yes. Yeah, no, I agree. I think I'm hoping we get some diorama shots, honestly. I just really want to see some with, you know, these newer, with these slightly different deco figures. And the fact that Destro's got the chrome, like I think when we first did the live response to those figures, I don't think we noticed that initially, and we kind of it dawned on us as we were looking at the close-ups. But like the fact we're going to get like a chrome helmet and gauntlets is so awesome to me. Like that's worth it for Destro, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's worth picking up Destro. Just checking out, seeing if my hair's starting to get closer to the color of Phoebe's.
Is it? Have you got the same color hair as Uncle Pat? Have you? Yeah. Oh, it was a good girl. Get kisses. Getting kisses. She's so sweet. She's just had a bath and she's all fluffy, and I love it when she's like all fluffy.
Nice.
And you smell good.
Yeah.
Oh, you smell.
I just had a bath and I'm all fluffy as well.
Oh, I wish I could smell you right now, Pat. I'm going to sniff you next time I see you after you've had a bath. Uncle Pat. Right. Right then. Okay, well, that's like classified news. What else was I going to say about classified, Pat? I was going to ask you another question, or like, I was thinking like in terms of classified, are there any characters that we haven't really seen any movement on that you're excited to see? Because I mean, I'm thinking like the Target stuff. We still really haven't seen much movement on that, have we?
No, we haven't. And I'm wondering if for the Target stuff, maybe they will refresh the Dio, or if they're just going, well, I guess that Dio they have is kind of new, isn't it?
They've got like a new jungly one, haven't they, I guess?
Yeah. Well, no, the jungly one was what we had before, right? Isn't it the city one that's new?
Oh, yeah, of course. Sorry. I wasn't sure if that was for Target or not, though.
Yeah, maybe they'll use the jungle one again for Target, because Tiger Force just seems to belong in a jungle setting. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see what they do.
I mean, we've seen Outback, Bat, the Viper. We've seen them on the kind of jungle dios and stuff, haven't we? But I'm just interested. Like, we haven't really seen any movement on those particular figures in terms of like when we're going to get them. Like, I feel like they should have been out a lot. Like, we should definitely have been kind of seeing something about those.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of feels all old to me. I'm actually forgetting that all those characters were in Dios already.
It's so easy though, isn't it?
Feels like there should be more coming though.
It's so easy to forget though, isn't it? Because obviously we've got Recondo, Bazooka, and the Python officer. That was what was revealed, wasn't it, on the last 40th?
Yes.
Bazooka, Recondo, Python officers. I've forgotten already what we...
That's right. It's the ones that we just saw as renders. We still haven't seen, obviously, in Dios. Those are the ones we're still waiting.
Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing we'll see those on the next live stream. But I'm just interested in terms of where Outback is, where the Viper is, like physically, and where the Bat is, because I don't know. I feel like they were very close because obviously they had the figures in hand. I'm guessing more shipping disruptions have caused all sorts of carnage on that one. And then the fact that guy apparently got them from Amazon, got those Vipers, Python Vipers from Amazon by accident, which I'm not quite sure I believe that.
Yeah, that seems, crazy things have happened. Prototypes have ended up sometimes shipping, so it's possible.
Could you imagine?
But it definitely doesn't seem like you can just go on Amazon and order random G.I. Joes and expect to get the things that are not massively released.
And also not even exclusive, and an exclusive to a different store as well. Like, I feel like that would be that's a big F up in the at the factory, or some sort of process.
Yeah, but at the same time, I haven't really seen, one of the things start showing up from China, maybe in the channels that they're not intended to come out through, then I usually see more show up in a short period of time. So it's a little weird. Maybe somebody has a very deep in with the factory that they were able to get those. Or maybe they did show up as a major mistake.
Or maybe just they found their way out of the factory and they were picked up on the dark web, or the it's not even the secondary market, like the nasty market.
Tertiary market?
Yeah, so we'll call it that. Anyway, yeah. I want it all now. I'm so impatient with it all.
Yeah, though I will say actually that it's a good thing maybe that we're not seeing things trickle out, because things trickling out was what was getting frustrated. I do like the idea that just everybody gets to enjoy it all at once, rather than me seeing, which has happened several times now with G.I. Joe, me seeing, 50 other people get it, all my friends have it.
16 review videos on the first day, and they're just like,
yeah,
this is
and
nice.
then I get it 3-4 months later.
I have grown such a incredible amount of patience over the last couple of years that I'm kind of used to it now. I feel like, I'm one of those people, I'll forget about it completely, and I would forget about it completely if we didn't have to do bloody news bursts every 5 seconds and do the weekly every week. I probably would be just sitting there like blissfully unaware that I had about 10 figures coming my way in the next, year or so.
Yeah, I just like to experience toys for myself, though.
Yeah,
and I usually can do that, but sometimes
it's
with
difficult.
other things coming out and repaints coming out, like I need to really dig into the figures myself. So I need to look at reviews sometimes in order to know what the deal is with the figures, in order to anticipate what's coming beyond the stuff that I haven't even gotten.
Yeah.
So it's nice that I think that what we could be seeing, since some of the stuff has come out, but it's not all everywhere. Maybe we're finally going to see a return to, everybody gets it almost at the same time. That's what I think is happening.
Fingers crossed and inserted. Right, let's move on to the final news segment of the week. Yeah, the week. And that is in Super 7 news. Super 7 posted a teaser of what looks to be a G.I. Joe Ultimate Storm Shadow figure on Thursday. The image is very likely an insight into their G.I. Joe Ultimates Wave 3 and shows a sneak peek into what they have planned for Snake Eye's sword brother. It looks like they will be including a removable wrapping for the figure's lower arm that shows off the Arashikage tattoo and is a direct homage to the latter panels of G.I. Joe A Real American Hero issue 21, The Silent Interlude. Alternatively, it could be an alternate lower arm, but we will find out very soon if any of Super 7's previous teasers are anything to go by. I'm excited to see who else joins Storm Shadow in the Wave 3 lineup, but big money is on Scarlet since Brian Flynn let that one slide a number of months back in an interview prior to Wave 2 being revealed. Pat, looking forward to this wave, and if so, what are you expecting with Storm Shadow in terms of homages?
Well, clearly we have like an issue number 21 thing going on here. I wonder if they're in the same wave, if you'll have that a beat up head sculpt for Scarlet to also look like she's from issue number 21.
Well, Scarlet's the big money, isn't she, to be in this wave, because she hasn't been released yet. And also Brian Flynn said that they used Baroness's body to then do Scarlet in an interview, and then went, oh, whoops, have I just revealed that we're doing the Baroness? And then they were like, yeah, you also just revealed that you're doing Scarlet. It was a really funny interview. And so I feel like if we don't get her this time, we'll probably get her soon. But I would say big money is on Storm Shadow, Scarlet with the banged up issue 21 head, as well as, alternate heads, and then a couple of other characters, which I was going to ask you when we get to that point, what you expect and what you'd like to see. But before we get to that, I mean, what are you expecting with this Storm Shadow? Any other things kind of jump out to you?
Yeah, I don't know. Storm Shadow appears so often. I kind of am expecting there to be some comic book and some cartoon nods in there as much as possible.
Definitely.
So I don't know what accessories from the cartoon he necessarily interacts with, because all you have to do is pick something up and then it can just, go with you.
Yeah.
And they were even picking things up from advertisements. So who knows what Storm Shadow is going to have with him? It could be anything crazy.
It was funny that they gave, was it Flint, the shovel from that 10 seconds clip in one episode when he uses a really long shovel. And I was surprised they didn't give Lady J the metal detector that she was using in the same scene on her figure. I thought that would have been a good, if you did both of those things, you could literally have that scene being recreated. But so with Storm Shadow, I'm thinking we're going to get obviously the bow. I think we're going to get that one. Was it? It was Zartan that used the one though with the kind of video, the camera on it that kind of picked out, not camera, but like the oscillator that picked out the heartbeat.
Yeah.
It was Zartan that used that, wasn't it? So maybe Storm Shadow can have like that, his compound bow, his version 1 bow. I could see them doing a couple of things like that, and then lots of different swords. Oh, Excalibur. He could come with Excalibur, couldn't he? Is that a big shout?
Yeah, that's definitely something that could be cartoon related that would make sense.
Because you remember I think it's in the outro to the Sunbow, one of the Sunbow series, either 1 or 2.
Yeah,
where you see him cut through the. Yeah, he slices that big thing that falls onto Footloose. So mate, have I just called one of the accessories?
I'll bet you're correct on that. That's how they'll tie him into the cartoon. He can't come with a ton of stuff, and it already looks like he comes with a separate forearm.
Yeah. So that's something I wanted to ask you. Do you think it's an alternate lower arm, or do you think it's a wrap that comes off and he's just got the tattoo there the whole time?
I think it's an alternate arm. I would assume that it's an alternate arm. I mean, I haven't played around with any of the ultimates yet. I haven't gotten those in, obviously.
Yeah.
And I don't have any of the previous ones from other brands that they've done. So I don't really know what they feel like and whether or not it's going to be easy to swap arms or anything like that. But that's kind of what I would assume. And honestly, seeing that kind of makes me think that we're due, and this is going to be a little crazy, that we're eventually going to get a comic book style Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
Because the Snake Eyes that they've done is so specifically cartoon.
100%.
That redoing that in black with, the equivalent thing where the forearm is torn, the clothes are torn on a swappable arm. That's what makes me think it's going to be swappable, because you're not just going to have an accessory go over Snake Eyes. So why would you have that for Storm Shadow? Yeah,
maybe so. I guess we'll see soon. The way that it'll probably happen today, and I'll probably have to do a news burst about it, and then this will be old news by tomorrow. One thing I did want to say on that was I could see them doing, because obviously they've done a issue 21 reaction Snake Eyes Target exclusive, which you have. I could see them doing that in Ultimates, and then, like you say, have a few different replaceable parts that create the battle damage, show off the tattoo, etc., etc. I think that's a no-brainer, and it could be in this lineup. So I think as we talk about this, this is my guess for at least 3 of the 4. I think it'll be the Storm Shadow that we've been shown, Snake Eyes in that style, and Scarlet in, again, like her cartoon but also comic, with a few like accessories that kind of, cover things like the battle damaged head, the maybe like a comic and a cartoon head. I mean, she has got like slightly different looks in comic and cartoon, hasn't she, on the head especially?
Yeah, that's true. That is true. So they could go with a cartoon head. For sure. Oh, for sure she has a different look.
Yeah, she's got that really like kind of tight red ponytail and like kind of, like it's all very like clean lines, isn't it, on the hair?
Yeah, and to be honest, there's also the toy Scarlet with no ponytail.
Yeah. Totally.
So they could do a few of them. But maybe they will hold that off to do a completely different figure as well. That's what's a little difficult to anticipate what they will do.
Yeah,
but I don't think that we'll actually get Snake Eyes in this wave. I could be wrong. Could be totally wrong. But I would think that they wouldn't put 3 issue 21s all together.
I don't know. It sounds like yeah, but like, okay, get in my headspace right now. 40th, right? It's the 40th anniversary of G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, etc., etc. Issue 21 is arguably the most recognized G.I. Joe thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, in terms of comics, especially in comics, everyone immediately it's issue 1 and issue 21, and then occasionally you'll get other things crop in, like the last issue, which is talked about because of it's the last issue in that run, and so on and so forth. But like, and obviously other issues stand out as favorites for people, but 21 is like, it's also the highest selling on the tertiary market as well, isn't it? So, So I kind of feel like I think they would do some sort of combo thing where it's the 40th year, they're going to do like a 21 special, and then maybe it gets, I don't know who else you could put in there. Maybe maybe like a Red Ninja or something? Or is that too? Are we going too much into 21 there? Have I ruined?
Yeah, I think we may be going too much into 21, just assuming that we would get them in the same wave. I think that we'll get a Snake Eyes from issue 21,
but probably in the next one.
They haven't done any like San Diego Comic-Con Ultimates, have they?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Or not. Well, not for G.I. Joe. I don't know if they've done them.
Snake Eyes from issue number 21 could really be some kind of extra special release, because you could release him
as a deluxe with lots of different things going on, couldn't you?
Or just release him in a package where he's actually posed out.
Yeah.
Like the cover of the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, I would expect him to include the very quick Cobra disguise that he put on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would expect that, but
do you know what okay, dude, how cute would this be, right? If they did the little pieces on the chessboard as accessories, how cute would that be? Not necessarily with Snake Eyes, but with maybe like a Destro or a Cobra Commander.
Yeah, that would have been a great thing to have included with Destro, but
we've had them now, but you know what I'm saying, like maybe like some other character related to that, maybe even like I said, the Red Ninja, if that ever comes out, or like you say, if they do a deluxe Snake Eyes, you could throw it, like an issue 21 Snake Eyes, you could throw it in with him. Yeah,
Red Ninja could somehow just come like with an alternate head that has really big eyes and a grenade right in front of it.
Yes. I would love to see, like with the Red Ninja, you could have, the accessory, the weapons would be incredible, because you'd have, because like all the different ones you have in that issue, they all have different weapons, don't they? It's like a team of Ninja Turtles. It's amazing. And I love all the different weapons that some of them have, like the long kind of chain kind of, things. I just love all that stuff. So yeah, that would be wicked to throw all those weapons in. A Red Ninja would be absolutely superb, actually, from the comic.
It would be. Yeah.
So good.
That would be a great figure.
So good. And I can, So anyway, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking a full-on issue 21 wave of figures. What are your thoughts? What do you think you're going to see soon? I almost said tomorrow then, but it could be.
I almost need to review what we've gotten so far to see if there's anything.
First wave is Cobra Commander with cape, Duke, and the Battle Android Trooper, and Snake Eyes cartoon. Wave 2 is Flint, Jay, Baroness, Destro, all the partners.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, is that in the second wave, we have like 2 sets of 2 partners. So I think that the pairing in this probably could be the 2 things from issue number 21.
Oh, so you're going with Snake? Are you going with Scarlet, though, as the other 21?
No, Scarlet. Yeah, I'm not going with Snake Eyes.
Just want to double check.
Spacing out Snake Eyes, not having Snake Eyes in waves 1 and 3.
Yeah. Storm Shadow, Scarlet, and then 2 more. Yeah.
And then later on, the pairing of issue number 21 of Snake Eyes and Red Ninja. I'll put those in a later wave.
Wait, what's that wave
just
4?
Snake Eyes is some. Wave 4 or 5 even.
I like what you're talking about as an exclusive to SDCC or something like that. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah,
and I'm going to throw this in there for SDCC. I expect them to do that Ultimates cartoon Snake Eyes glow in the dark. That's what I expect them to do as an SDCC from Wave 1, cartoon Snake Eyes glow in the dark. That's what I'm expecting.
Yeah, that actually makes sense. That seems like something more that they would do, because then it would fit in the same size box. Everything would be consistent. So I'll put my Snake Eyes in with Red Ninja in a later wave.
Awesome.
That's not going to be my prediction. My prediction will be Storm Shadow and Scarlet, obviously, but then another pairing. And are we due for? We're probably due for like some of the other Cobras.
Firefly?
It's going to be another Cobra and a Joe. I would think
Zartan?
Maybe not Firefly in the same wave as Storm Shadow. So maybe
Zartan's too much as well in it, because he's obviously linked so close with Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow.
Yeah, and Scrap Iron's a weird one, because that was a really popular figure, but then a very underused character.
Yeah.
Isn't that he's a little strange from the British line. Maybe they didn't include him a lot in the show in the comic because they didn't need to.
Yeah, I mean he's got that little storyline where he fires the rocket launcher, doesn't he, that kills pretty much everybody. But then he's in the cartoon quite regularly as, like a dog's body going from leader to leader, getting paid, more and more, just basically just being a nasty freelancer. And obviously he's the bat technician, isn't he? So in the cartoon. So like, I feel like but at the same time, having said that, very little development, like very little else other than those two things that kind of, that he's just there. He's like background, isn't he?
Yeah, but judging from the number of them that are out there as far as toys, there's a lot of scrap irons available. Like, he's a pretty common figure.
Yeah.
Which means that he probably was selling very well at the time, which is probably related to the fact that he comes with really cool accessories.
Yep. Oh, I really loved those sets, those like 7-packs, like the desert and the Arctic ones, where they did like the Crimson Guard and Scrap Iron was in one, and then in the other one you had like Televipers and all. I loved those sets. I thought they were really fun. Yeah,
those were really fun sets. I agree.
Do you remember the magazine adverts they did for them on dioramas? It was one of the few times, well, not few times, because they were doing it quite a bit for the 4-inch line. But I remember in the back, I think of some of the comics I was reading, right on the back page was a full spread of like this Arctic scene with all of those figures spread out, and it was like G.I. Joe, yada, yada, yada.
I don't remember that one, no.
I'll see if I can dig it out, because it's there was that one and the desert one as well. And yeah, I love those sets. Anyway, sorry, complete sidebar there, Pat. But yeah, Scrap Iron's a good shout. Any others you thinking might find their way into? I keep saying tomorrow's
the others
reveals.
Don't have to be a pairing. So Zartan definitely seems like he should be one that we would get. But how about instead? I'm going to go with Buzzer.
Oh, that is a big shout, especially when you think about the cartoon and the comic. He's going to have so much like homage crossover going on. Oh,
yeah, and you're going to need to start trickling the Dreadnoks in.
And
so I'm going to go with I'm going to go with Buzzer as one of them.
That's a good shout, mate.
And for the Joes, it's a really tough one because we have Scarlet so far.
Bless you.
And I don't want to go too core character. Well, you know what? We haven't gotten Roadblock yet, have we?
No, we haven't. Actually, he'd be. I would like him to see him in like the cartoon accurate.
Yeah. And honestly,
Red Rocket's glare.
Kind of need to get what?
Like Red Rocket's glare, Chef hat. Like, what else could you do with Roadblock? There's loads. He's in so many of the cartoon episodes.
Well, the thing about Roadblock, too, is one of the reasons to get one done earlier is the fact that you have two very different looks for him in the cartoon. So you're going to want to separate those out. So get him, even though he's one of the core characters, and I like to see other things other than core characters, you do need to get him done earlier so that you can do both of them eventually without putting those both right together. So, okay, that's going to be my prediction. It'll be Scarlet, Roadblock, Buzzer, and Storm Shadow. That'll be my guess.
That is a really good lineup. I'm going to go with. Is that also like? Is that a lineup you want to? Phoebes, honey.
Yeah, that's a lineup I would want to see. I think that's good. I think that Roadblock's he's one of the Joes I like. He's at this point for sure he is one of the core characters. So I'm trying to also not core character hump us by voting
Pat,
to
stop core character humping me. Stop core character humping me.
Especially we've already got Storm Shadow and Scarlet in there. And then Roadblock. It would be 3 core characters and then Buzzer. So that's actually a decent lineup.
It's a really good lineup. Really good lineup. And that's one I would see and be super happy to see and really excited to see what they did with the accessories and all the additions. That I get more excited about more than anything else. It's then going, right, what's that from? And then trying to think, wow, when did he use that? When did he use that? And then going and watching all the episodes again and going, there it is. I get so much joy out of that. It is not even funny. I don't even know why I get so much joy out of it, but I do. I would say my expected lineup is a full-on issue 21 homage lineup, right? I don't know why I'm so strong in feeling that way, but I think we're going to see Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow. I could be very, very wrong. Scarlet and Red Ninja. I'll just say that for my expected. What I want to see Storm, because I say that, but then I have doubts too, because I do feel like what you're saying makes way more sense to what we've seen previously, and they don't necessarily do things that you expect, even though I wouldn't expect them to do a whole full... And this is the thing, I don't expect them to necessarily to do a full wave of the same homage, but that could be a twist they throw out there. Do you know what I mean? It could be like, we're just going to do all issue 21 characters. So, I don't know, it's like hard to judge. But what I want to see is a shipwreck, finally. And what was and I think Firefly was the other one I'd like to see. But like you say, I don't think you're going to see Firefly and Storm Shadow in the same wave, because they're both very big heavy hitters, and you want to kind of maybe space those heavy hitters out, as well as core characters as well, like you say. I think Roadblock, since you said Roadblock and Buzzer, I haven't stopped thinking about them since you mentioned them, and I think that's more interesting now to me than what I had previously, which would have been probably a bit more complicated. Deep Six, I think, would be really cool, especially kind of cartoon-based, but I could see him being way more complicated to do, and maybe even with a vehicle. Mate, Thunder Tank, Party Wagon, Thundercats, the space.
Yeah, but you don't think that they would do the shark as a vehicle, do you?
It's pretty prominent. It's all over the cartoon. It's in the comics. It's a pretty standard issue G.I. Joe thing. A flying sub.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
I'm just putting it out there. But yeah, I'm loving Roadblock, Buzzer. Weirdly, I can't believe I'm loving Roadblock in your answers, because we've had him so many times recently, but I just feel like as a cartoon accurate figure, especially the first series where he's in his like orange pants, the camo vest with the braces, the helmet, the Mardu, all that kind of stuff. Well, we wouldn't have a helmet, would he? Does he have a helmet in the cartoon at any point in that styling? I don't think he does he?
You'd need to come with a helmet, though, for the
figure,
comic, and the toy.
Yeah, you would definitely. Okay. I'll go back with the helmet. Would it be a removable helmet? It probably would, wouldn't it? Because I've seen a few where they've had like a whole head that has something on it, like even like a beret. Flint's got some alternate heads. Right. He's got a removable beret, but then he's got like an alternate head with a beret on it. And I'm thinking, well, why wouldn't you have... Then again, he's got the headset, hasn't he, over the top of it, so that's probably why. Anyway, yeah, I'm excited to see what they're going to do. Really excited. And I think Buzzer would be brilliant. Oh, what a great shout there, Pat. Anyway, that is all the news. What do you guys want to see in the Super 7 lineup? You'll probably know by the time this goes out. If obviously this comes out before this goes out, then you'll probably be seeing a news burst live about it, so it doesn't matter, does it? Anyway, let's get into shout-outs, shall we, buddy?
All right.
Shout-outs. That's the new theme tune for shout-outs. Hey there, guys. Just wanted to let you know about an app that I've been helping to develop for a few years now called HOARDAR. But what is HOARDAR, I hear you scream? Well, a number of years ago, I discussed a project with a good friend of mine and now co-owner/developer about an app that could help collectors of all shapes and sizes. I'm talking about the shapes and sizes of the collections, really, but also people. The app would be a place where you could share your new items, build collections and sub-collections, or just browse the feed to see cool things. Well, we made it. We tested it for a number of years, and now it's out there for you to enjoy on iOS or Android devices. You can upload a single item at a time at your own pace and slowly build your collections. You can post status updates that could be related to your collections, like getting a delivery or posting a scene in which you can tag items in that image if you've uploaded them in the past. You can add tags to your items in order to easily search for and find them, and of course to add them into your respective collections. You can like posts, comment on them, or start a conversation with a fellow collector, directly message users you follow, and even add items you see on your feed to your want list. If you prefer to use your computer or laptop, have no fear, you can use the website browser version and even utilise the awesome inventory option, allowing any user to change certain details, add notes, upload bulk items from spreadsheet files, and download a CSV of your entire itemised collection. We made this app for collectors, and we hope that you enjoy using it as much as we enjoyed creating it. Now get to hoarding. Go on then, mate. Give us your shout-outs.
I didn't really get anything in this week other than maybe a replacement for part of my laptop, so that's fun.
Brilliant.
But other than that, one of the other pre-orders I'm excited about this week is the fact that Lex from Jurassic Park is finally getting a figure.
Oh my word, the kitchen encounter scene. Oh my word.
I think it's safe for us to talk about that we're not going to get torn off the internet. I think.
That was so weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, very, very strange.
I mean, the equivalent would be Hasbro ripping us a new one for reporting on things that were already out there. Do you know what I mean? Like, that would have been the exact same thing, wouldn't it?
Right. Yeah. Except for the fact that things were purchased from authorized retailers.
Yeah.
And then shown.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point. There was a weird PR move from Mattel, that I think, but
horribly bad one. Because I was a little bit like, should I even talk about this? Should we even talk about Mattel?
Nothing's gonna happen. Don't worry. Not enough people watch us, mate. So it's fine. We slide under the radar a little bit.
Right. I don't think Mattel cares about what I'm saying right now.
No, but I'd love the fact that we talk about Jurassic Park on here because obviously the connection to G.I. Joe is so solid in the in history. And if you don't know,
how long has it been since? How many times has Lex been passed over for a figure?
So many times. I mean, we had a whole Legacy collection, multiple waves of single figures, nothing. The original Kenner lineup.
Yeah,
Zip
the original Kenner lineup. She's just not there.
Zip Zero. Yeah, it's like I've got to like show my love for the original, like the original figures and toys. Even going into like Lost World and Jurassic Park 3 and all that stuff. So much fun. Like the first like series are some of my favorite toys of all time. Like the T-Rex and the Stegosaurus, and the fact that like they've got that squidgy skin. I just love it. And like the battle damage, and they all had the JP stamp on there with the number. There's just something so unbelievably cool about that line of toys. And even though the figures, like the single figures, bear zero resemblance for the most part to the characters they play in the film, Dennis Nedry, I'm looking at you, but there's some absolutely just wonderful. I love it all so much. And some of those kind of like 90s kind of like brilliant like Lost World. Was it? I can't remember which one it was. I can't remember what it was called, where they were starting to kind of combine dinosaurs and they were getting all these crazy like decos.
That wasn't Chaos Effect, was it?
Yes, Chaos Effect. Thank you. The commercials for those are brilliant. But yeah, I love that era of Jurassic Park stuff.
Yeah, I think that dinosaurs have always been something that kids have loved. And so it's a little strange that it took that long to get a really, well, maybe there are some other great dinosaur toy lines. Dino Riders, certainly an excellent dinosaur toy line, but the Jurassic Park stuff, I don't know. It most definitely was some of the design work that the movie put into, figuring out what the dinosaurs may have looked like, that helped make that toy line so great.
I just loved buying them. I remember so vividly picking those figures up when they were out, and like just loved the card art. I love the little cards that you like, the collector cards you get with each dinosaur and character. It was just great. I loved that whole line and that whole era of toys. But yeah, like obviously the history with G.I. Joe is pretty strong, and if you don't know, there's obviously huge connections with Jurassic Park and G.I. Joe. There was like, we've had that kind of, I want to say like, what were those ones recently? But it was a Pachyrhinoceros, the
it was Ash Skull Striker and
yes,
Gunnar O'Grady.
That was it. Yeah, the two kind of dino kind of hunters almost, aren't they? Dino.
No, I think I'm thinking of something else with Gunnar. That's not what his name was. Allosaurus.
Yeah, and of course Stegosaurus Strike, which never came out, right?
Right. With the guy with the eye patch.
Yeah. See, I love the Dino Showdowns. Yeah, Allosaurus Assault and Pachyrhinosaurus, I think the other one is.
Ash Skull Striker, and I want to know what the other guy's name was, or else it's going to drive me crazy.
I'm looking for the back of the package image right now, but I can't find it. We also, I mean, you were on the Jurassic Park episode we did, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we went into massive detail on the figure and on all of that stuff, and I remember having you on there talking about the history of the crossover and the kind of all the cancelled figures and all of the, like the InGen Ore Strikers and things like that. I mean, there was so much cool stuff that was going to be coming out, wasn't there?
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed all that stuff. I was very excited for the potential of a Jurassic Park G.I. Joe crossover because of what that could mean for Adventure Team. I still can't find that other character's name. Yeah, and Gunnar O'Grady is the core figure, so I don't know what I was thinking with that.
Gunnar, he is as well. I thought I recognized that name. Oh, here we go.
Unless the guy's name is Dino Damage. No.
Gunnar Gordon. Gunnar Gordon, his name is.
Gunnar Gordon. Yeah, okay. So I had the Gunnar part right. Gunnar O'Grady was the core. Gunnar Gordon was Jurassic Park. It's weird how my brain works, isn't it?
Absolutely. I'd have gone with... I wouldn't even bother. I'd have just said Burnout, and in fact, I did say Burnout because it just used his head sculpt, didn't it? But yeah, really.
Or Burnout used his head sculpt.
True, very true. I think that is actually the correct way round. You're right. But yeah, like again, I was just searching Jurassic Park G.I. Joe, and our episode comes up, by the way, as like quite high up on the search results, which is great. Fun. Series 5, Episode 4. Bloody hell, do you remember when we did audio podcasts that would last about 10 hours? Oh my goodness. Those are the days. If you do have
it's easier to edit than video.
Honestly, no.
Yeah, I would say no.
I would say
no as well.
In the length department, Kitty said. It's different types of editing, isn't it? And I feel like it would take ages to get through that stuff, but it was great. I really enjoyed those episodes. And Brian Hickey did the most gorgeous Dio shot for that particular episode, which you can see on Google search if you just type in Jurassic Park G.I. Joe. We're a few lines down, but you'll see it, the full force, Series 5, Episode 4, and that Dio shot is incredible. Anyway, what was I going to say? Pat, yeah, any other shout-outs?
No, just that very long one shout-out that took us down the rabbit hole of Jurassic Park again.
A Jurassic rabbit hole. Imagine a prehistoric rabbit. As always, big shout-out to all the family and to my wonderful wife, Kate. Love you all. And to Phoebe, who is actually she's been on screen, and also she's down here by my feet. She's on a little bed under my desk. It's adorable. Are you having a little sleep? Yeah, she is. So big shout out to everybody. And also, I did mention it last week, but I'm going to mention it now because it's happened. It was my dad's birthday on the 13th. So happy birthday, Dad. I hope you had a great day. I spoke to him on his day, so I know what the day he had. And he seemed to have a good one. So shout out to me, Dad, for his birthday on the 13th.
You're making me feel bad now because it's actually my brother's birthday right now, and I didn't shout out to him.
Unbelievable. Happy birthday.
So shout out to my older brother.
Happy birthday, Pat's older brother. Have a happy birthday. Yeah, cool. That's what else? Oh yeah, of course, to Brian Sauer for the awesome graphics that we always have on the show. Just amazing. Thank you, Brian. Shout out to all the presenters from Talking Joe for having me on their 150th special episode to take part in a quiz. It was a lot of fun, and you can watch that by following the link in the description. Mark, Tim, Jay, Chief, and Steve all took part, with Ben being absent, unfortunately. Thanks to all for such a fun show, and I'll see you guys again on episode 200. I did offer my services up for any episodes they want to talk about in the future, but I'll probably just be on the next big one. Double shout out to Brian Hickey and Paddy Lennon for their recent reveal of Volume 2 of Total Action Force. That will be hitting Kickstarter very soon. But also happy St. Patrick's Day, and to you as well, Pat, which happened on Thursday. Big shout out to all our Irish friends, listeners and viewers, etc. Hope it was a beauty of a day for all of you. Did you do anything on St. Patrick's Day? Just worked, I guess.
No, I had the day off, so I went to work. That's what happened.
I don't understand that logic there, Pat. I had the day off.
I had too much stuff to do at work. It was one of those times where it's like, oh, I'll take that day off, and then I get the day off, and then it's like, well, you have this to do, you have this to do, you have this to do.
Can you not like
say? Well, I'll just do a stop by, and 6 hours later, that's how I spent my day off.
Tell me that you don't. Do you still? I mean, did you lose a day off now for that?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Oh, forget life. That's just ridiculous. Is it? And is it just because someone else could have had that day off? Is that why? Do you know what I mean?
No. It's just things that only I can do, that I have to do, and some work meetings and things like that come up. That it's like, well, I'm going to be way behind if I don't participate in the meeting. And it's like, oh, and there's another meeting 4 hours later, so I might as well get my other stuff done in between. Then
can you not just call that a day and not a day off, though? That seems really
not really.
Anyway, enough of the terrible ways in which employment works. Big shout out, obviously, to all our patrons, listeners, and viewers. Thank you so much for everything. Just a shout out to our patrons quickly. I will be doing a Q&A, a patron Q&A next week. I was going to do it this week, but I've got one more cool Intel episode to bust out for you guys, probably over the weekend, and then I'll do the live Q&A next week, so we've got a little bit more to talk about. I know you were expecting one this week, but the week has just passed me by, so we'll be doing that next week. You'll probably expect a lot of Newsburst lives as well, because honestly, it's just so much more fun than just doing a Newsburst, and I'm addicted to them now. Hopefully you'll get to see what Kate's making me for dinner that night as well, which seems to happen far too often. But yeah, it's amazing. Last night we did, if you saw the Newsburst live on Thursday, it was St. Patrick's Day, and Kate, well, she didn't do it on purpose, but made a pesto gnocchi and squash and sun-dried tomatoes bake. It was unreal, guys. It was unreal. And it was green! So perfect for St. Paddy's Day. Anyway, Pat, mate, thanks for jumping on, buddy.
Thanks for having me again. It's always fun.
It's been an absolute blast, and we've gone on way too long. What is wrong with me? That brings us to the end of another almighty long episode. Thank you for watching the Full Force Weekly. Massive thank you to my awesome co-host, Patrick Notpicard Stewart. See you next time. And as bloody always, 1, 2, 3...
Full Force!
You got ahead of me that time.
Did I?
Yeah, now I'm late. Oh, we're going to have to work something out. Amazing. Right. End. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on Twitter @TheFullForce, liking the Facebook page facebook.com/TheFullForce, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on either of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/TheFullForce podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.